So when we discuss doing this,
Yeah.
you're always way more diligent than I am, I feel like, in general. But we're like, yeah, we'll have a list of questions to ask each other. And here you are with notes jotted and like actual questions to ask that mean something to you. And I was going to come through and do my Clyde Frazier. Just color commentary my way through and deal with being interviewed. So I don't have questions, but I'm an inquisitive type of person. Very curious by nature, Ken Fox. So I got questions.
Yeah, man. I'm ready.
What was your first favorite song? I'm talking like no matter the age, like even if it wasn't before you were coming into, even if you were a little kid, man, like even if it was something your mom listened to or something, like,
oh man,
what's the first like love of music on? What was like, wow, this is awesome.
First song I remember like listening to and being like, this is awesome, and it was only like one of those 2-minute songs. It was Jimmy Mack.
Jimmy Mack.
Jimmy Mack.
Oh, that's the name of the song.
Oh, give me back. When are you coming back? That one.
Oh shit.
So that was like that was the first song I remember hearing my mom play, or it was on the radio, whatever the situation was, and just being like, holy shit, like it's awesome. But my first experience with great music, or what I still consider great music, was in Suffern.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that bar that was down the street, and this was like late 80s or whatever, but they would have the door open and they would be nobody complained, the cops never showed up, whatever, you know what I mean, and they would just blast these hits out of the door, just phenomenal song after song after song, whether it was Hall & Oates, Michael Jackson, all this shit, the Eagles, you know what I mean? And
the 80s was a good time, man.
And it was a brilliant time for music. Yeah. Like, how could you not thrive? You know what I mean? It was.
How could you not go back to a bar till you're 27? Yeah. That's the real question. Yeah. This is where you hear all the good music coming from.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't write questions, man, because like.
I think that's all I needed. You know what I mean?
I was you just got the music and that's it.
It was a little. I was locked in, from that point on.
Well, in all fairness, if you were going to a bar just for the music, I have a plethora of experience. Of being sober and dealing with people that are inebriated, and you made the right choice, Kenny. You definitely made the right choice with that one. So was that Jimmy Mack thing? Like, was that like good old Motown stuff? Like good soul
Yes, it
shit?
was. It was. And I don't want to misquote the group name, but it was a girl group. It was like the Shirelles or something like that. You know what I mean? But just whoever wrote that, man, kudos to you, because that shit caught my attention early on. The harmonies were amazing, and my mother was a singer when she was really young. She used to go into these phone booths that would like Jack White has now, similar to that. Her and her friends would go into these phone booths, and they would cut a piece of vinyl. They would cut a record,
a little karaoke kind of thing,
and just sing over it. And then when they were done, they would hit the button and it would press a record up for them. And I wish to God she would have saved them. But my mom had a good voice. Like I remember her singing, when I was younger and stuff like that. As she got older, she stopped. But I wish she didn't do that either.
Isn't that's one of my favorite things? Like just someone singing for nothing, man.
Yeah.
I know that whenever I settle down, bro, that's what it's gonna take, man. Just humming and singing, while you're just bopping through the house.
Mm-hmm.
But, this is what I was gonna ask. First of all, it's clear before I even ask my next question, there's musical talent somewhere in your family, and I'm glad to hear that. Like your mom did sing, man. Like I could see that for sure.
Yeah.
But what do you feel like was the first ways you heard music? Like the medium. Were your parents ever like fucking radio people? Was it like records? Like, did they choose the song? Does your mom choose the song?
That's a good question. Yeah, absolutely. My sister Camille was in the military. I remember when she got out. or she was home. She was home on leave actually. She had one of the Michael Jackson records, and I remember going to her house, and it was an experience. I mean, it was like truly an experience. I remember she threw that on. She had it on vinyl, and I remember listening to that and watching how my parents reacted, Cammie and or Camille, and everyone else.
Just witnessing the power of it is what you're saying. It was like the mood change,
right? But just the music, like I was even surprised then that the music affected me the way that it was them.
How old were you around then? You think?
I couldn't even tell you because I was young. I was
like
super
single
young.
digits.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
I knew, definitely single digits, but I just remember watching everybody else in the room react to this record, and I was like, damn, like. It got me too. I was like, damn, it got me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it, man. I mean, first, it's incredible that, there's a time when we didn't think this was like a thing, but how many people get to say that the first time they heard some good music was on vinyl?
Right.
I know. I think it's a little overblown. You got people that are like connoisseurs that want to just swear. I mean,
yeah,
there is a difference. But it might not be as big as it is, but it's still probably pretty special to be in that moment.
It is crazy because when you and we were still young when CDs became a thing. You know what I mean? So it's like,
actually, those 4 artists I listed before, was right on the time CD. That's like what it was, like those CDs and tape era.
Yeah,
the switch over. That's funny, man. But
first CD you ever owned. I just wanted to ask you that.
Oh, the first CD I ever owned was actually that Aerosmith Big Ones.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying that, you triggered me. I'm like, oh, man, because that is the age when tapes are switching to CDs is when I was like in 5th, 6th grade, like 94, 95, 96.
You know what I used to do, bro? Not to cut you off. I used to, the BMG cutouts.
Oh, bro, that's exactly. You have no idea.
Yo, how many times were you like, Timmy Tucker, Rob Johnson,
Dude, there's so many times that there's so many monthly, because they had the pick of the month.
Yeah.
Bro, if you looked at my CD collection from that era, you'd be like, is this like a 40-year-old liberal lesbian? Like, dude, I was getting Sheryl Crow
Natalie
and
Merchant,
Madonna.
right?
Yeah, dude, there's so many, because if it was dope and I knew there's videos on MTV, I'm like, 3 cents.
Yeah.
Like only a nickel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you know why BMG disappointed me, actually? And this is a little off the beaten path, man. I got it because of that first Boyz II Men record. We're bringing it back.
Yeah.
Because Boyz II Men was huge to me in like 5th and 6th grade, man. I'm big on the R&B. But the End of the Road song, I feel, was that on the first record? Is this the song? I always have trouble. But there was a song.
Heartstring Tugger, man. That one got to you.
It wasn't on the version of the album I bought from BMG, though. They had the abbreviated. It was like they had abridged versions. Same thing with the Brat. I got the Brat Funkified. And it didn't have the B-side with Biggie.
I remember seeing that in the thing, like your selections, because those selections would grow. You know what I mean? Like 1 month you'd see it and it'd be like that big. By the time I got it, like, and I'm just being honest with you, by the time I was able to order it, had 98 Degrees.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire. My first copy of that album came from BMG, Evil Empire, and I'm not joking. And
that's incredible.
I loved Rage to death. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Like, that list used to get extensive, man.
I went delinquent with my account years before they were able to start sending me the good shit.
Yo, I was one and done, man. I'd order it and they'd be like, "Promise to play us?" Yes, I do. Give me my 10 CDs,
man, that was a kick, man. I had a Flintstones rap CD, bro. Tell me how they made a whole album of Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble kicking rhymes, bro. I wish I knew where that was, man. Like,
that's hilarious.
But that's how old I was, though. I was like, 12.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man.
But you're into it.
Yeah, of course, and it opened up my eyes to a lot of other stuff, man. Because that's how I even got into Weezer that way.
Yes.
Like my older sibling, I think at least one of them. I think at least my brother liked Weezer, and I got into that from that stuff.
I got a great story about Weezer. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it was good, and I'm glad because I wasn't 18, I didn't have the financial responsibility for it.
Yep.
You know, and BMG never saw this motherfucker coming. But you know,
You
So-
thought I was.
next question.
Yeah.
Because I've been literally obsessed lately, man, and I see all these. I think the general perception is that Weezer is trash for some reason.
Right.
Why do people drag him through the mud so much? Because I fucking love him, bro.
Yeah.
I love the new album. I like the Teal album with all the covers.
Yep. Teal album is good.
I don't get it, man. So
Very
my
good.
next question really is, what's your Weezer story, and how do you really feel about him?
First of all, I love Weezer. Weezer. The interesting thing about Weezer to me is that they were a link to Nirvana. I love Nirvana. You know what I mean? I told you like before.
Mm-hmm.
I was super young when Kurt Cobain died or whatever, but my friend Brian, who was home from the military, threw on In Utero.
Mm-hmm.
Now, In Utero is Nirvana's last, studio record, which was produced by Steve Albini, who that's another guy. Like
That's your boy.
Oh man, if I had a guy do my record right now, it would be those three. It would be between those three guys that we talked about earlier.
To wait for the audience,
Yeah,
they were T-Bone Burnett,
T-Bone Burnett,
and then Rick Rubin,
Rick Rubin,
and now
and it would
Steve
be-
Albini.
Yes,
All right,
absolutely. Those guys are brilliant, all of them, and in their own way. But
So was he the link from Weezer? Is that what you're saying? Like, did he produce a Weezer album?
So Brian introduced me to In Utero. We were at his house, and we were listening to In Utero and From the Muddy Banks, the live album that they did.
Mhm.
That was my first intro to like real Nirvana. You know what I mean? Of course, I heard like the singles and stuff like that, but when I listened to In Utero, my mind was blown. I'd never heard anything like this, and it sounded like they were in the room with you playing.
Yeah, they did a good job of making that feel intimate. A lot of their
Incredible,
songs, man. Yeah.
incredible, man. And so, but the time went on or whatever, and then Weezer came along with their first record, the Blue Album or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah.
So and I heard it wasn't a Sweater song. It was Buddy Holly. I heard Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
Watched the video, and I was like, this is super catchy. You know what I mean? And growing up, my mom played the Beach Boys and stuff like that, which I actually
Dude,
got
I'm
to
glad
see.
you make that distinction because that's what I think is
Yes.
like, it's modern Beach Boys
Yeah.
almost. Okay.
And I got to see the Beach Boys last summer, which I'm so grateful
you
for.
were at
man.
that show?
Yes,
Wait, was
dude.
it last summer?
Yes, it was last summer.
Where? Bethel?
Yes, with the Righteous Brothers, which
They played another. Dude, I went to the one the summer before, I think.
really
Yeah, it wasn't with the Righteous Brothers. It was somebody else. Man.
Righteous Brothers was the most entertaining group I've ever seen on stage.
What?
Ever.
Man.
Dudes had us in stitches the entire time. This guy is
Just
so
cracking?
so funny, bro. He could moonlight as a stand up. You know what I mean? Like that would be his thing if he wanted to. So anyway, Weezer, like they had these similar elements or dynamics or however you want to describe it to Nirvana. So I just fell in love with them, man. And that Blue record was so good. It was so freaking good, man. The song I Want a Girl Who you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever that song is. And he's just candidly talking about his jealousy and his like, how he wants his girl to stay home, who never leaves the house, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And I just thought that was like either he was being really pretentious and pretending, or he was being really honest. And and if he was being really honest, then I loved him 1,000 times more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So I got into him then, and then the Green record. I mean, of course, I listened to Pinkerton, but the Green album.
Hash Pipe is my favorite song probably of
Bro.
Weezer's whole shit. Just that bass line.
I had a guitar for 2 years before that album came out. 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Had a guitar, and that Green album came out, and I made it my mission. And you could ask my mom this. I made it my mission to learn how to play every single song on that album.
Was Hash Pipe the first one? Because I even learned how to play that on bass.
Wasn't even Hash Pipe. And I thought Hash Pipe was the meanest song on the radio. You know what I mean? I was yo, this shit is mean. It was so good.
Why hasn't that been sampled for a rap song yet?
I don't know.
Oh, it's so good.
But, and Island in the Sun, I think, is like their number one song to date. But it's such a beautiful song. And again, it goes back to like the vulnerability thing. Like, at the end of that song, he sings, "We'll never feel no pain anymore."
Mhm.
You know, and we'll never feel no man anymore. And I've been drinking this whiskey and coke, so I'm probably I don't remember
I
my
didn't know
own
whiskey
lyrics,
and
let
coke was on
alone
the
Rivers.
table.
Yeah,
Even. So
I don't remember my own lyrics, let alone Rivers, but there was something, there was an emotional connection to that, and that's
yeah.
what pushed me to get my guitar and really learn. And of course, I had like the Nirvana influences. So that's my my Weezer story, is that they taught me how to really push myself. And
Hmm. I'd never really made the comparison. Well, the
you wouldn't
the
now.
similarity.
You
but
wouldn't.
And
You
at
definitely-
that time,
And
everything
Choke
was
Powder,
called
you would.
alternative, though. Like now, I'm really looking
Yeah.
back, man. It was
Uh-huh.
all like the alternative thing, man. I'm sure even like people that like those two bands were listening to REM.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
like that kind of anything that, or live, like anything that fell into that,
Yeah.
like we're not regular rock.
You're so right, man.
Because the 90s was huge for that change,
Mhm.
man. Like it definitely, like rock splintered almost the way that
Yeah.
rap is splintering now.
Yeah.
You see the way hip hop is turning into other genres almost, and it's like you
Rock?
get rappers calling mumble rappers something
Yeah.
else, but I feel like rock at that time was a lot of that kind of stuff, man. And I feel like Weezer might have been on the outs
Yeah.
because they were poppier, they were more appealing.
They were. Right.
And you know how that gets drugged through the mud sometimes, you know.
It really does.
But yeah, man.
It does.
Even Island in the Sun's a great point, because that's one song I always thought was corny
Mm-hmm.
at first, because when you're
But
young and you're trying to not
unpack
be
that
vulnerable,
song, though, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but then-
unpack that song, and it's
yeah,
fucking incredible, man. Like I can't even wrap my head around how they wrote that sometimes. And I know it's a simple song. Like I play it a couple times a week. I'll strum it on my
Mhm.
guitar, but like, holy shit.
dude, I think the genius in simplicity is exactly that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be simple and do simple.
Right.
I noticed it with comedy first, obviously. Like, a lot of people like will see something as dumb humor
Mm-hmm.
and be like, "Oh, that's just dumb."
Right.
No,
Yeah.
you just don't get where the smartness is, you
Right,
know.
yeah.
And I've even applied that to my own writing technique, man.
Mhm.
Like, I want to simplify it
No,
down
no.
as much as possible, so that
Yeah.
God forbid you don't have the capacity that I do to absorb lyrics or to.
Mhm.
And it's not to sound like I'm like an elitist of some sorts, man, but like I'm not dumb, you know. But I rap like I am,
Yeah.
because there's lots of like hidden stuff.
I kind of disagree with
In
that.
there.
Like, Say My Name Again is one of my favorite songs. Not just that you
Mhm.
did lyrically, but like, I mean, I'm talking in a list
Damn.
of songs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's overwhelming, almost, man.
no, it's incredible. It's
But
incredible. 'Cause
That's
that was-
where it is, though, man. Is that? But it sounds simple to
Right.
an outsider, but you know. I think that you know, because you know how to write lyrics. You understand that, like, where the intricacies
And it's
are.
super aggressive too, you know. Like, yo, and I'm drawn to that just naturally.
too,
you know what I
man.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
so
I get it, man. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for the shout out. You know.
yeah.
I want to ask another question though, because I
Mhm.
feel like we're getting a little carried. This is why good students come in with their notes. You know, what was your first album as Ken Fox?
my first
First
album.
real album as a solo artist.
Well, it was a record that nobody ever heard. And then I'll tell you about Love Life, but
It was before Love Life, right?
Departure
So, okay.
was the record.
Oh yeah.
And the
yeah,
only
I know
reason why I
Departure.
made that record was because of my friend Joey Sisteri. And I met Joe. We were both young. Joe's younger than me, but I met him and I was done. My drummer Fernando had moved to the city. I wasn't really making music,
Mhm.
like in not consistently.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
So I played this kid Joe. Joe was in Choke Powder. I don't know if you ever knew.
Yeah,
this.
no, I think I did. Though.
Yeah. So he was in Choke Powder for like a week,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then Dave, our bass player, he left, and so it was just Joe. So I was home. I made all these demos, all these crappy demos on a little Boss recorder or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe came over and he was like, "You got to release that stuff." And I was like, "Nah." And I was like, I'm a band guy, you know. He was like, "Nah, man. You got to release that. You know." and he was really big into graphic designs, and he owns
Mhm.
a sign shop now out in Long Island in Belmore.
Yeah.
It is Sinorama.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
anybody listening.
Shout out to Joey,
Yeah,
who
and
did the cover work for the
Si-
Quatch collection, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
Oh,
reference.
did he really?
Yeah, dude. You
Okay.
put me on to Joey for that.
Yes.
Yeah, it was incredible, man. I love it.
And he did the artwork for New York, my
super
record, New
talented.
York, Departure. Yeah, man, he's had his hand in a lot of shit. He did the artwork for my single, Amazing. So anyway, Joe, like this young kid, but ready to go. You know what I mean? He showed up at my house and asked me for my guitar that my mother bought me, and I told him no. And he said, I said my mom gave me that. I'm that, and, he ended up with that guitar, that little fuck.
Oh, man.
So, but anyway, so he was like, "You got to release that music," and I didn't. I think on MySpace during the time
Oh, man.
I released like 4 songs from it. You know what I mean? And so
Tom was feeling them, though, wasn't he?
Tom was, yeah.
MySpace
Tom from MySpace and Tom Gross was feeling it.
Oh, shit. Talk about.
So shout out to Tom too, man. I hope he's doing well. So and then I just went into making Love Life, man. And Love Life took me almost 3 years to make.
Wow.
I was working 70 hours a week doing landscaping. And
Still finding time.
And at that age too, I was like, what? I was 25 years old when Love Life hit. I was like, this is older, man. This is like,
Yeah, but that's right when we probably first met, though, right? Is when you were just putting that out at Gallery? Yeah.
So yeah, man. And I never thanked you enough for supporting that record and selling it for me, like on a continuous.
I wouldn't have if I didn't like it, man.
$3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. That made it a lot easier too, though. But
and it was continuous. It was just like every week. It's just like, yo, I got Love Life sold like some records. I sold it to
3, 4
so.
more copies. Every week, man. Because honestly, what I would do is if someone bought anything even similar to you, I'm like, what's another $3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and people bought it.
But I believed in it, man. That's the difference. And even when you're trying to sell your own music, I've noticed when I believed in my own stuff, how much easier it is to like show people. If you don't know it in your heart that it's good music, man, and Love Life hit me, man. That's why I even asked, because I do remember Departure, man. But Love Life was the first album of yours that I really started liking, and you put me onto a whole genre of music.
Right.
You understand? Like, until I was like 25, even probably in that same range. 25 was probably around the time I stopped just listening to only rap music.
Yeah.
Maybe even like early 20s, I got into more stuff, but it was always hard. It was always aggressive. It was always angry stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think that hearing somebody do it in a way that like I even related to, man.
Yeah.
Like seeing that could happen. And I think because we're on the same level on a lot of like, we think about the same thing.
Yeah.
We think the same way emotionally almost, I think sometimes, man. Like.
No, I would agree because just based on conversations that we had, I think that's.
Yeah, and I know you thinking emotionally is like a conundrum almost, because your emotions is usually the lack of thought. It's feeling, but I think that, we let it affect us. I think that, I almost like, do you think, actually, that's going to bring me to my next question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that a closeness with your mother has made you a better artist? Or what role do you feel like that's played? Because I personally think it's a big deal.
I would like to say yes, but to be completely honest and transparent, I had to fight so much to continue making music. I know my mom is proud of me for what I've done musically. I know that she is, but we had so many arguments where she would be like, "Go upstairs and play with your toys," meaning my instruments.
Yeah.
And stuff. And that was my fuel. You want to talk about drive? That was the thing, man.
I get it.
That was the thing, because I would go up there and I would practice guitar more, and I would write songs and write songs and write songs. And all right, you want me to play with my toys? And then I'd hammer out keys on the keyboard. I never had any official teaching. I never had any instruction, at all.
Figured it out on your own.
Yeah, that's
even more incredible, man. Because I use that as an excuse for everything.
Yeah,
I took piano lessons.
Yeah, did you?
I already told you that, man.
No,
but nope.
No.
That shit don't work for me, man. I tried learning an instrument. I just can't, man. I'm a word guy. But yeah, actually, man, the I know what you're saying as far as like
But
the complexity of the subject. But
Yeah,
do you feel like your personality type?
absolutely. And my mother was an English major. She was also a teacher. So her love of like
Words.
of words in general, and she's an avid reader even today. And she's just a super inspiration. She's incredible. But just that was like, it was so helpful into me expressing myself. You know what I mean? Like I said before, my mother, she had started like a couple of books when she was younger. You know,
right.
in
She was
40s.
a writer?
Yeah, she was a writer.
Wow.
She had started a couple books, never finished them. But my inspiration for writing came from her. So she played a humongous deal in my music, and I probably wouldn't be a musician at all if it wasn't for her.
Dude, I get it, man. I only asked that question because of the same thing. I've realized a lot recently that going back to those early memories of like to listen to the wordsness of my mom, you know?
Yes,
like,
yeah.
I don't think of her as like a music connoisseur.
Yeah.
But there is something about appreciating the power of words that I took from her. And whereas I think that I did still have to deal with that dynamic that you did because my dad was that play with your toys side.
Yeah.
You know,
you
it was
always
more
get
like,
one of
where's the money? What kind of job you going to have? What kind of security you going to have? You know, like, do you understand? And at a certain age, and this is where we as children, you know, learn that parenting is the most selfless and selfish act you could do as a human being.
100%.
That it partly is their fear for you. It's not even about, you know, that they care that you do good, but it's like, what's it gonna look like on me sometimes, you know? And like that, the oscillation between those two motives sometimes when you're on the receiving side of those emotions, you know, it's a tough thing to grow through, man. But looking back on a lot of it as an adult, like, I understand the reasons why any parent would try to, like, honestly, man, there's so many kids that I hear them rapping and I don't. Just, bro, get a job.
Yeah.
You know, and
go to a trade school.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you've heard the saying, you know, it costs nothing to encourage an artist, but to discourage them, you're robbing the world of something, you know, like this whole romantic notion of it. But it's not worth the stress sometimes, man. You know, like, even if you are phenomenal, because honestly, dude, as far as songwriting and the way songs go together and the whole sound, man, like, you put a lot of thought into your stuff, man. I've never seen somebody within my circle or my area be able to do all the things you do and carefully put them into the right places, because it's hard, man. I only write lyrics. Yeah. And that's hard sometimes. I can't imagine doing what you do, and I've never seen someone do it so well. So I appreciate to see us still sitting here. Yeah. Like, the world should know your name. To me, like, this is what I say. Like, and I've even said it about some of my other friends. You're not the only one, but like, sometimes I still make music. That's another one of my whys. Yeah. Like, one of us has to hit, man. One of us. Yeah. And if it's me, man, like, A&K's still gonna be rapping on my songs, bro. Yeah. You know, you're coming to be, you know, produce my stuff, man. I don't care. Yeah. I'm gonna make you sing on every fucking hook to the world, even though you hate it, man. You know, like,
No, I don't hate it, you know.
But sometimes it is looking around my circle, man, and I would love to just like single you out, but there is a very small handful of people that I've been working with for at least a decade. You know, we met a decade ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and
worked on Art of Raw.
And that, 2000, dude, that bugs me out. That was 2009. Yep. You know, but it was a learning experience for both of us. You were learning along the way, you know, and I think that we both helped each other kind of grow. And
I had the Zoom 1608 for any audio head out there.
Oh, man.
If you want a good fat reverb or vocal for that matter, it was the Zoom 1608.
Kenny, tell them about the room. What was the treatments like? What was that room like?
Actually, the room was kind of dope. The room worked. The room worked.
This was in the back room.
It was like a security booth.
Yeah, almost. Really. It was like like
set
the
up for Overwatch
of a record store. Actually, you know. Shout out to Galleria Sound
Yeah.
for all this, but yeah, we recorded that whole EP in
After
the back room.
hours, yep.
Yeah, the store would close and we'd be recording until 10,
Yep.
11 o'clock at night, man. Like,
Crazy.
yeah. But 10 years ago, man, and I met A&K 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
And
it was
people don't get it. Like, I
That's
was
insane.
chilling with my boy once, and I was like, yo, this guy taught me how to rap
yeah.
about A. And he's
Mhm.
like, come on, man. You're cool, you know? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
he ain't taught you shit, man. I'm like, no, like, you don't understand. Like,
Mhm.
just because I've made the most of what I've learned doesn't mean that it, like,
Right.
if certain things weren't in place for me, man, along the way,
Mm-hmm.
I might not have ever come back to making music. I might not have ever done it in the first place. So here we are. I'm going to bring this to the next question is like, is there a single event in your life that you feel like if it had gone one way or the other, the most important, you know, like I'm sure there's a couple of them, but what do
Right.
you think is the biggest thing that could have gone the other way that made you just never make
This-
music again? Like,
this-
is there something that would have been another why?
It's very easy. The military.
Oh yeah.
Yep. My brother used to take me hiking through the Ramapo Mountains. You know what I mean? Like single digits. We were up there. Like I was always into it. You know, Rambo, the whole shit. Like that was. I loved it.
Wait,
you know?
Rambo the movie?
Rambo, Rambo the movie, man. You know, like we'd watch that, and then we'd be out on a mountain peak, like
Holding a knife in your teeth?
like 15 minutes later, no joke. Like you know,
Man.
so I was always into that. But yeah, man. Now that would have been my first choice by far. And then once I realized that, you know, I was having that might not happen or wasn't going to happen, I had a love for music already that pre-existed, so I just threw my all into that. Whenever I'm into something, I will. It's all in or nothing. You know what I mean?
Do you like to use the word obsess? Because I do. I get like, I'm all or nothing personally, man. Like, it's the same way. Like
Yeah.
if I love something, I love it, and this is why I don't like more than one sport.
Yeah.
So many people can watch basketball, football, baseball, like everything all year round, but I only got room for basketball because I need to know.
Yeah.
I want to know who's on every NBA roster right now.
Right.
If I had to make these trades on NBA 2K right now,
Yeah.
I don't need to download them. You know, like I want to know. Like this is what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
because that is how I think about everything: is I love it or I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not I hate it. It's just I don't have the energy to even give towards it. So
I'm becoming
that.
more the things that I like or that I'm interested in is way more concentrated than it used to be because of my time being split between so many
oh
things.
yeah, that's
You know what I
another
mean?
thing. Yeah.
So now it's like more of a yes, no.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like that type of thing. Like MLB. Like I love Major League Baseball. I'm super into it. I don't follow any other sports anymore. Cut them all off. And baseball always had my heart. It still does. You know what I mean? So
I don't understand, but I respect.
yeah, yeah,
I respect the notion, man.
Mhm.
You know, I've clearly asked several people, like, how,
yeah, yeah.
why,
Yeah.
what is your why? Here's
Yeah.
another one. What was your why for even liking baseball, Ken Fox? No,
my mom, she sat me down. We lived on Park Ave in Suffern, New York.
Uh-huh.
Sat me down at the kitchen table. I'll never forget. And she broke out these baseball cards, and she taught me what each position on the card meant. So she taught me what designated hitter was, what pitcher was, what second base was, and then she bought me a book later on. But then, yeah, my mom, she wanted me to know about baseball and how important it was to America. You know, it was like
it is. Yeah, I get
it's
the
America's
purpose.
pastime.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
There's no debate in that in my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know.
And even though you could say that America has made basketball what it is worldwide, but it's still invented by a Canadian guy.
Was
You
it?
know, yeah. So
Okay.
that's kind of it was invented in America, so that is
I
why
think I might
people
have
make
heard
that
that.
little thing. So, but
Mhm.
baseball, what is distinctly American?
Yeah.
I don't ever want to disrespect it because you know, like my grandfather loved it. You know, and
Yeah.
like there's certain people in my life that I have tremendous respect for that
Yeah.
love it. But I think maybe you hit on something with it, just the childhood aspect of it, man. Maybe like the things that we find to enjoy as adults sometimes do bring us to that simpler time. Because
If you want to talk obsession,
escape.
that would be an obsession. Baseball, Major League Baseball, to me,
I get it. man.
it's still to this day. It's just unbelievable be unbelievable to me. I'm drawn to Major League Baseball. You know what I mean?
So how are you doing this podcast right
can't-
now? A couple
I can't-
days after opening
I
day,
can't
man.
ignore it. Listen, man, schedules, they jump in the way. I know the Yankees lost today, and that's my favorite team, but I do follow every team, in the league. So
Now, as a native New Yorker,
Mhm.
how
By the way-
disappointing.
by the way, a quick note on New York
Yeah.
and Suffern, New York. This is facts. Suffern, New York was named after my family. So,
Oh, nice.
Yes. My grandmother was Elizabeth Suffern. So,
Oh,
yeah.
dude. I remember
Yeah.
you saying something about them founding or being part. I didn't know the
Yeah.
namesake was there.
no, absolutely. That was her name.
Oh,
So,
man.
yep.
I've spent a couple afternoons stuck in Suffern, ironically.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with their shit train station.
Yes. Yeah.
Bro,
I've taken
you don't
it a
even
few
know what
times.
side the track the train's coming on sometimes. They'll come in on the one that's not going back towards, like, the way we
Yeah,
came.
that's true. And then you got to run across that dangerous.
No.
Actually, you can't even get
You
over
gotta
the
go
fence,
down the
right?
stairs, bro.
Yeah.
One time I was stuck there. Easter Sunday, I went down to hang out with Kay.
Mhm.
We were recording Hey Girl originally,
Okay.
and I was coming back that night.
hmm
I was taking the last possible train to come into Port Jervis.
Yeah.
And I was standing on the platform. I thought the train was coming on. I see the lights coming. I'm like, wait, that doesn't look like it's the right side of the track. It gets
to run
closer and
underneath.
closer, and then you're like, oh shit, it's not. It is on the other side of the fence. Dude, I had to take I had a duffel bag and a backpack with my fat ass. I ran down these fucking stairs, dude, underneath the railroad trestle, back up the stairs, and as I'm getting to the top of the other set of stairs, this train is pulling away. So if I'm traveling
Oh,
by
man.
train, middle finger suffering, man. But that same year, I think later in that year, I was on my way there, and I had to spend some time waiting to get picked up.
Mhm.
And I did spend some time on foot and suffering, and it's nice, man. It's a
It
nice
is.
little town, man.
Beautiful.
Forget the train station.
Yeah.
But I was gonna even ask, man, do you think, as far as New York sports go,
Yeah.
if you're gonna be a New York sports fan,
Yeah.
do you feel like the Yankees is really the least disappointing way to do it, even though they're not that great recently anyway? But think about all that other stuff, man.
On a whole, New York sports.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only team to like in all sports, really, right? They have more championships than everybody. If
Right,
that's
right.
your thing. You don't want to
Yeah.
sit through a Knicks season like I just did. Like,
No, if I was a Cincinnati's Reds fan, I would be all in.
yo, fuck Ohio, the whole
You-
state of Ohio. I want to go on record. Still,
I got a couple friends out there, so
fuck them too, Ken. I'm just joking. I'm really. No.
Shout out to Ohio and all the beautiful girls that are out in Ohio right now.
Oh, there's
Actually,
babies. All right, never
So-
mind, man. I got love for the ladies.
yeah.
That's all right.
So yeah, man. I'm just a Yankees guy.
Does
as
it
far
not
as New
matter
York
if it's
sports
win or
go.
lose, though? You know,
And-
like that's the thing. Because I did you see that with a lot of Yankees fans, and I think that's what kind of turns me off to it a little bit.
I can't bash them. As a fan, like we're not them. We're not professional athletes.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I'm not a professional athlete, nor have I ever been. And I'm not a manager of a professional sports team
Mhm.
or owner. So fans get caught up. Like, you listen to New York sports radio, and it drives me nuts. It
of
drives me
course,
insane.
yeah.
I got to turn it off because you'll have these callers that call in and just like, I got an idea. How about
Yeah.
we trade Jacob deGrom for Aaron Judge, Stanton, and Tanaka. You know what I mean? And you're just like, no, bro. Like, stop. Go talk to your buddy that's in the cafeteria right
Yeah,
now,
that's
or
water
whatever.
cooler talk right now,
Yeah,
man.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
By the way, I don't even know baseball, and I know that's a lopsided trade. That's like how fucked up that is. I'm like,
Yes.
wow, bro, they're getting ripped
Yes.
off. Like,
Yeah. So I can't deal with stuff like that, and I am kind of ambivalent when it comes to baseball. Like, I could watch like a Braves game. I could watch a Milwaukee Brewers
Yeah,
game,
dude,
and a
'cause
lot
you
of
love
people
it,
aren't
right?
like
the sport
that.
itself.
Right?
Yeah,
It's just baseball. It's beautiful. It's poetic. So
bro, it's weird you describe it that way.
Hmm.
Because I think I appreciate the same shit about basketball.
Right.
I know we're getting off base, but now we're bringing it to another question almost. Is
Right.
that like, it's weird how I think even being an artist affects how you look at outside things.
Right.
So do you think that being the artist you are inside is even what makes you see the beauty in baseball? You know, because I see basketball, I see the rhythm of basketball.
There's a rhythm to
There's
baseball.
an intricacy that you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it looks simple, but there's a lot going on, and that
So
like
much.
speaks to a lot of my artistry. Almost like it's almost like a metaphor for it.
Yeah.
And I've described it as like poetry. Literally, I've literally
Yeah.
used that word, man. It's like, I don't,
Well, I tell you, like the truth is that I think being an artist is what I am,
mhm.
and it's what I do. It's not something I think about.
Of course not, man. That's
Yeah.
why I'm asking you to think about it.
Yeah.
That's the point of
It's-
this.
it's-
Is that
it's
this is
hard.
why
It's
it's such a
difficult to
challenge? I
think about
know,
that.
man. There would be no
Yeah.
2-hour conversation, and we're at an hour and a half. You know, like this wouldn't be a thing if it was an easy
Yeah.
question, right? Like that's why you wanted to ask them.
Yeah.
But then again, like what comes? Like, do you think you're an artist from birth? 5 years, 10 years. When do you
wanna
think those things come
I want
around?
to say yes, because I remember, like, at a very early age, singing songs to my mom, because I wanted to sing to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, but I think I if I remember this right, I think I was sitting in my room and I was like singing along to a song that was on the radio, and I thought that I sounded good. Now I was super young,
Mhm.
so, and I remember my mom was going out, and I'll be very honest with this. My mom was going out, and I didn't want her to go out, so I went into her room and I started singing, a song that I made up. It's similar to Mom, Don't Go Out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't want to say that I realized that I was an artist then, or that was going to be like a path for me. Really, what sold it for me was I was at a party. I was 15,
Mm-hmm.
and this girl's parents was out of town, and my boy John, that I had mentioned before, he was there, and he had a tape recorder, and he had heard me singing some Michael Jackson song, "You're Not Alone" or whatever.
I love that song when it came out.
Yeah,
It
right?
was a big thing for me.
R. Kelly wrote that.
I know.
Crazy. So John, he tried everything in his power to convince me to sing into this tape recorder. I was like, I'm not doing it. He's like, well, sing in front of these girls. I was just like, yeah, all right. So John pulled me. He was like, dude, you got to come with me. You got to come with me. I'm like, what's up? He's like, if you sing into this, I promise I won't play it for anybody. So I'm like, he's my friend. I'm loyal to him. Sure. All right. So we go into the bathroom. John hits record and he's like, sing a little bit of it. So I sing a little bit of it. The next thing you know, he's playing that clip for everybody in the house.
Oh, no.
I'm like, you just, you tricked me, So,
Your motivation for asking one of your first questions is now blatantly apparent.
yeah.
What was your first question to me? It really might be the first one, man. Has anyone, you asked me if I could trick somebody into doing something they've never done before to prank them.
Yeah.
You literally asked me that question and that happened to you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah. That's what happened.
Is that why you asked that question?
No.
Or do we just claw away at the surface of this and
Yeah.
now this is why the couch works, bro. We need a couch next time.
We do.
We're just therapying each other.
I got to get a mobile rig. See, I have this tower that's not being used, so I could just plug my monitor into that, and we could drag that out into the living room next time.
That doesn't matter. I'm just saying, that is interesting though. That sounds like a pretty significant moment though.
It was huge. It was huge, and I didn't realize it at the time. But the girls that were at this party, they kept asking me to sing for them, and I didn't want to sing for them. You know what I mean?
You think they were fucking with you though?
No, they were way into
They're
it.
serious. Okay.
Yeah, they were way into it.
Because I get that in my head sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
why are you gonna ask me to do it so you can make fun? I get that I'm the class clown kind of dude anyway. But
I had an idea that I could carry a tune, so I was like, yeah, sure,
nice,
or whatever.
Nice.
So I sang for a few of them, but that was my first I should record some of this. I should do some of this or whatever.
It's
you know?
weird how that experience was a positive reinforcement for you because
Yeah.
I brought up singing into the Talk Boy,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
which was that Home Alone shit. Remember
Yes,
they actually
yeah.
marketed it out,
Yeah.
and me singing that Boys and Men shit at the top of, you know, like I'm
Yeah.
like belting it, bro. And then honestly, it probably would never have been an issue
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't accidentally play it when I was back downstairs in front of my whole fam, like rewinding to show them something else.
Yeah.
And it popped up, and once like I'm like, oh no, like, and boom, and it was like the complete opposite of your experience with it, man. That's funny, man. Like,
Oh man.
but yeah, that's interesting, man.
Mm.
That would even be one of your earlier questions. Is that
Yeah.
I'm glad then that prank happened,
Yeah.
you know. So and I wish that my talent came from such a cool story, or my awareness of it at least, you know, like.
Yeah. That's all true though, man. You can ask John about it. He would tell you.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. We don't check facts around
Yeah.
here. Where's Michael
Fact
Rappaport,
check.
bro?
Yeah. Where's our intern?
Yo, you know what? I know where I'm supposed to be asking questions, but I remember when I went away to college, man, I was at this party once, and for some reason, like Notorious Thugs came up.
Yeah.
And between that and Big Pun's verse on Off the Books,
Okay.
they were two of the first verses I memorized to learn how to do it. Like,
Beat nuts.
yeah, the Beat Nut
Yeah.
song. And
Yeah.
they're both quicker flows, like
Yeah.
real fat fucking dudes
Yeah.
with quick flows, man. So like they were a big deal to me, man. And I remember we're at some fucking frat house, bro. And the one dude hyped me up because like I love Biggie or whatever, and they're talking about Notorious Thugs, and somehow I killed the whole verse.
Okay.
Acapella for the, like, I didn't know, I
Yeah.
wasn't rapping along to the song or whatever.
Yeah.
And that moment though, like you know, like
Yeah.
it wasn't even my shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah.
someone reacting to my ability to do it even.
Mhm.
And that's why to this day I still do quicker flows sometimes, man, because like it's amazing. But yeah, that response
That's
probably
crazy.
similar to that. Yeah.
Right.
Like suddenly you're like, oh wait.
With the fire.
Yeah, once
Yeah.
you get the positive reinforcement
Mhm.
from your environment, sadly, you know, like do you, as an artist though, do you feel like that that's such a, like a, I'm trying to find the right words, man. Like, I want to just say it's like just a, wow, bro. The need to get the response almost.
Yeah.
You know? Like, is there a need to get the response if it grows from getting a response?
Absolutely. Or else, why would you be doing it?
Of course. Now, how do you feel? I mean, because there's so many things that like are so pretentious about artists, and maybe it's people that make the choice.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of what I'm getting to eventually. Is that, do you feel like there was a choice in the matter at all?
No.
It's just what it is, right?
It is what it is.
But do you feel like for some people it is? And those are the people that come across pretentious. Those are the people that come across ingenuine. Like,
I'm friends with some of those people.
dude, don't talk shit about me right in front of my face. You know? Come on, bro.
I'm friends. Some of those people are great people, great big-hearted people. Like, and I love them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's that. But
Dude, are you Bob Sageting right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Bob Saget just came out talking about Aunt Becky, bro.
yeah,
And he said, you love the people you love. Like,
yeah.
just
Well,
like,
that's true. That's true, man. Shit, you can't
is this the New York version of Bless Your Heart, child? Oh, bless your heart. Like,
bless your heart. I mean, you can never tell what somebody's trail is gonna be, right? You never tell.
the trajectory, like where they're
Yeah,
gonna go,
exactly.
where they came
How
from.
are you able to predict that? You can't.
And who are we? I mean, honestly, I'm probably kind of a dick for even trying to assess someone else's motives or someone else. Like, I don't know if some people chose it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if because there was a time when I was probably making music that the whole world should have told me to stop.
Mm.
I will be the first
All of
one to
us.
say,
All of us.
dude, up until even 21, 22, like, if you told me that it wasn't working out and I believed you, it wouldn't be the worst thing for the world at that time, you know?
Right,
but
right. Yeah. Now, see, you couldn't tell me shit. I was the opposite because I was in my room and there was nobody to there was nobody there to give me feedback,
Mhm.
tell me I was wrong or whatever. I had my sister, and my sister was a huge fan of everything I did.
Mhm.
I don't know if I would imagine she still is, but and she encouraged me. But nah, man, you couldn't tell me anything. I was in my own world with my magazines and my, you know, just the music that I was making.
Mhm.
And I created my own little world with doing that stuff. But the two things that made me want to create music was the one situation was a girl broke up with me,
Mhm.
didn't want to talk to me about it. I wanted closure. You know, I was young. I was
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't understand how those things work or what I should do, you know? So,
Yeah, because you still think it was something you can or can't do.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
There's none of that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That doesn't exist. So, my way of having a conversation with her and not having her talk back to me or interrupt me while I was talking was to write a song. And I knew that she couldn't ignore that because it would be lyrics and it would be playing in her ear or her friends' ears or whatever.
Mhm.
And that was why I started writing these songs. These very like what's the word I'm looking for? You know, just personal songs, man. I wrote my songs in the form of letters.
Mhm.
So people would, when you heard them, you knew exactly what I was talking about and you weren't mincing those words, you know?
Do you think it was out of like just a desire to? Is it almost like the way I talk about the outlet though? Like, is it in a way an exorcism?
It wasn't even an outlet
You know,
to
just
me.
getting rid of the feelings. You know,
To me it was simply you're going to listen to my side of the story.
Mhm.
And even if you don't like my side of the story, guess what? My friends that are going to New Paltz are going to listen to my story.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
friends that are on Long Island are going to listen to my story, and they're going to know all about you because this is
Yeah,
my
yeah.
side of the story.
Do you feel like that?
Now check
if
it.
that one girl gave you her side of the story, that would have broke it all though. Say that experience though, because really it was her not giving you her story.
Well,
You wanted to know her point of view, the
Well,
why.
she
You wanted
did.
her why.
Right. Yeah. Well, she did give me her side of the story, and you know, most girls will give you their side of the story, but like there's layers to that story.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just like here you go.
Well, yeah, everybody's got the version.
I'm
that
more
you
of
wanna
a
hear.
concrete like here's the base, here's the walls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm that guy, and other people are just like here's the story. Now unwrap it. And if you find what I'm thinking in the middle of that somewhere, like you're good to go. You know what I mean? You might learn a lesson out of this.
Yeah,
And I really got I was tired of that, man. So and I was listening to the Third Eye Blind album, the self-titled one, a lot, and I felt that was a perfect representation of that thinking. I think the conscience of that writing fit
the mood that you're looking for
just
at that moment.
perfectly with what was going on. It, I felt like that Third Eye Blind record that would be the record that I would write if I had a chance to write a record and present it to people or
It'd be
to a
that
person.
one whole album.
It would be that album because I thought that's and I know I'll receive like you know people won't take me serious for saying that comment or whatever. I don't care. I don't care.
I think that just comes with time, though, man. I mean, I already confessed to liking Meatloaf at one point. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's different, man. Like everything is fit for its own era, you know. So I mean, to really look back and pick away at the fucking legitimacy of something, you know, because that's what people try to pass it off as is like it's a legitimate or not.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but. There's good records that are pop records. And that's probably part of the thing with Third Eye Blind, right? Is that they're more like pop punk, like they're more like
I want to
not
say
even punk even, right?
Yeah.
Like,
they were like pop alternative maybe during that era.
but once you get on
right
the
now,
radio, everybody hates you.
Right,
almost,
exactly.
you know?
That's the thing.
I can't tell my friends about you anymore. Yeah, you can't feed my ego anymore. Now the DJ on the radio is the one getting the credit for
Yep.
showing my friends your music. And dude,
Absolutely.
You know,
With music in general, it's such a crazy thing because you take this fragile thing, you take your thoughts as a writer,
most vulnerable personal thoughts.
the most
usually, yes.
vulnerable thoughts that you have, and you put them in this super fragile you know thing that forms
Mhm.
songs, and then you put them into the machine. The machine spits out a song
Mhm.
or whatever, your performance, and then you have the balls to present it to the world, and the world gets to dictate what they think this song is
Mhm.
or what this album is, and it's crazy. It's insane, man.
It is such a complicated fucking thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the same time, you don't want to care what the world thinks of it either.
Right.
But a certain degree of it hinges on whether it's received a certain way.
I'm at 3%.
What do you mean? I'm at 3%.
I'm at 3%
of caring.
Yes.
Where you
Yes.
just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm there, man.
I'm
I
at
get
3%.
it. I think that comes with age, though. It's just like with
Mhm.
anything else. Like the impact of no response or
Mhm.
the impact of a negative response
That's
doesn't have the weight it used to.
right.
Because
Right.
I know that, honestly, I used to think that people were haters.
Mm-hmm.
Why is everybody hating? Like, dude, for anyone listening, if you see your own favorite broke ass rapper always talking about haters, it has nothing to do with people hating them.
Or being
People
successful.
People are living their life. Yeah, well, because
Mhm.
these dudes aren't successful when they're talking about having
Right, right.
haters.
Mhm.
It's worse. I want you to know it's worse. They don't care.
Right.
They don't hate. I would rather
Yeah.
people hate me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would rather have haters, and that's why people upgrade the situation in their head to protect their ego.
Right.
They're just hate. No,
Yeah.
they don't care, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And they still don't care about my shit. I know there's times like people are so afraid to click a like button on something local.
That I
There's
I
like
don't
a
get
stigma
that.
that comes
I
with it,
never
man.
get that. Even with people or things that I don't listen to like all the time or whatever. If something's good, I will say it's good, man. You know?
Of course. Yeah, but we're artists. And this,
Mhm.
actually, I'm glad we kind of came full circle with this because when I initially asked you, like, how you learned, how the people that taught you about music listen to music is important.
Yeah.
There's people that don't choose the song.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. Are you a radio person? Are you this? Like,
Yeah.
are you okay with someone always picking what song you're listening to?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that, I don't know this song.
Yeah.
How the fuck? You can't only listen to songs you only ever knew.
Right.
There's a first time you heard every song, but because someone in some position of taste making isn't playing it for you.
Influencers.
Yeah, well,
Right.
now that's what they're called. But
Right.
yeah, it was
It is.
DJs and
Yeah.
VJs or whatever back in the day, or the payola board at Viacom and
Exactly.
Clear Channel.
World
Whoever
group
was,
of payola.
yeah, dude, Illuminati.
Yeah.
Just joking. We don't believe in cults.
Well,
Not that one. At
that's
least.
for another podcast.
Yeah. Our cult. We're looking for followers. No, but yeah, I think that determines a lot about, I think, someone's music taste, man. If you're just satisfied with music being background noise while you're driving somewhere, while you're drinking with your friends, while you're cleaning your house, whatever the fuck people listen to music for,
Yep.
you will never be the type of person that seeks out new shit. And even there's people that are artistic listeners, even because
Yeah.
there's people that are music fans
Yep.
that are still looking for stuff like us.
Yeah.
They're still looking for the next thing that's like, I kind of like this. I kind of want to tell someone about this, and I just think that that's a smaller percentage of people.
I would say
You
the majority of the women that I have known or dated or been affiliated with throughout my life, though they were casual music listeners. So whatever was playing that was current, they were cool with.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a certain in that respect, their personality was cool because they just go with the flow. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is popping right now. I'm going to listen to this. You know what I mean? It's on the radio. I'm going to turn it up.
Mm-hmm.
I know people that only listen to K104 in our area, K104.
I'm sorry, guys.
So, and that's how they rock with their day. It's just like
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, and it's not that I'm not even trying to condemn it all, condemn it at all. It's just that what
and you
is-
see, well, not to interject,
Mhm.
but you'll see groups of people that they want to be easygoing or they want to fit in with their coworkers or whatever,
yeah,
and so they're completely cool with whatever's playing on K104. And they know every song. They know the 10 songs that they're gonna play all day. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
like,
I can see how
and
it
it
works,
is 10
man.
songs.
And honestly, we don't know that those people don't. We were talking about how we only have room for certain interests because of how we care about them. I don't. I went into the territory of obsess or whatever, but it's not. It's just interest.
Right.
It's really like you want everything about it. And maybe there's people that don't have music as that interest.
Right.
They might have movies. They might have TV shows. Like they
Books,
might want to
whatever.
watch Friends for the fucking
Mhm.
8th time in a row. Why? I don't know, but
Right.
it. But that's why I think that eventually people like us will coalesce into a fucking clot. Like we're all on a fucking stream. We're all living, but I think that people that care about this in this way, even if you're not an artist, because there's people that are probably in our circles that don't actively make music,
Right.
but they appreciate the music the way an artist does. They might have been an artist in their past. They might still have it. They might want to do it. They might have wanted to do it and never tried.
Right.
There's people that still like, oh, I wish I had the balls to do that.
Yeah.
But then there's people that are just indifferent. They're not haters.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes we, because I've been a purveyor of that thought process, man. Like I've fallen into that,
Right.
So it's just funny to see from the outside as you get older and older, though, man. I'm sitting here, probably way too old to be still making fucking hip hop music,
No, definitely not.
but
Definitely not, man.
But as far as hip, that's why I put the emphasis on that, though. But things that are that popular can't last.
Right.
Some of the best shit has to kind of have a timeless quality to it.
Absolutely.
Man.
The Beatles gave us 7 years, and then they were done.
They were only active for 7 years.
Yeah, it's something insane like that. It was
What?
a short amount of time.
Yeah, I forget about all the dude. By the 80s, they were done.
And they were like,
for
all right,
sure.
thanks. Call us the greatest ever. Bye.
Wait, when did Lennon die? Was that before 80 or was that
80.
actually 80?
Yeah, I think it was 80. Yeah.
But he was already
Quick.
soloing and Yoko in.
Side note for any audio engineers or audio buffs out there, John Lennon sang into a U87, not a U47. And I just learned this the other day. Now, U47 is like the hallmark microphone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows what a U47 is. But
Well, now I do too.
Steve,
Yep.
yes, Steve Albini just told this story. Like I just seen it recently. He sang into a U87, and if people knew that, they would not be like going to these studios that held the U47. You know what I mean? I mean, they still might go wander into that studio, but
So people are
Like-
using the wrong mystique,
right,
almost
right. Yeah,
to
and a lot
encourage
of
their
people
shit.
didn't know that, man. But he sang into a U87.
Was that like a lower quality microphone?
No,
Or
definitely
higher
not.
quality?
Those mics are ridiculous.
Mhm.
Like ridiculous. You buy cars with those mics,
Damn.
or yes, with the price of those mics.
If anybody got one of those mics and wants to buy me a car with it,
Yes.
or donate a car amount of money to my PayPal address,
Yeah. What is that again?
timothy.shimer@gmail.com.
There you go.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's my government.
Yeah. Or it could be Ken Fox Music at hotmail.com.
Yeah, send somebody money, man.
Yeah.
Whatever. I know it's a
I
little
don't have
weird,
a
but,
Patreon, but I will.
I was just gonna
I
say
will
that. Yeah.
accept PayPal payments. No,
Yeah.
without a doubt, I will.
I need a car for these bars, bro. I need a car for these bars. No, honestly, man, right now, yeah, I'm not mobile.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone knows what it's like to own a used vehicle, bro, but something breaks every week. And that's what's weird. Sometimes I think, like, is this worth it?
Cars are a pain in the ass,
No,
man.
well, not the cars.
Yeah.
I'm like talking about all the decisions I make to rob me from like the fruitful fucking career that, a car would not be an issue with,
Yeah.
It's tough, man. Like,
Mm.
I'm going to make that my last question, though. Besides, because we got your why a little bit, right? You kind of answered that on your own. So I don't, unless you really want to touch on that again. But
Yeah, sure.
Do
I
you
like
ever
touching on things.
do you? I love touching things, but do you feel like I already asked you like if there was an event that would have changed the course for you, but do you ever get to the point that you wish it did?
Yeah.
Like where you don't have to deal with the burden.
Yeah.
You know? It's weird to describe it that way because I guess to an extent we still do choose to do it.
Right.
We can't help it, but to an outsider, they might be like, "Why does he still choose to do it?"
Yeah.
You know, but has it been worth it? It's really what makes you really.
I don't know. I look at life as a line. There's a dot that starts your line,
Mm-hmm.
and then the line continues, and then the dot in your life is over.
Mm-hmm.
Like your light goes out, and that's the end of it. I don't know. I don't draw conclusions to like a lifetime of things.
Oh, so you're saying you're waiting till that light's about to flicker to even make that decision?
I don't know that I'll ever be there. I don't know. I think I kind of like I go with where I'm at right then and there. And if it's making records, I don't know how many more albums I'm going to make. I don't know how many more shows I'll play.
Mm.
I played a small show 3 weeks ago. That like basically nobody knew about, you know, and I just wanted to keep it that way. Right now, I have plans for 3 EPs to come out like between this year and next year. But beyond that, I don't know. I don't have a timeline for when this is gonna stop. I don't know. You know, it's just music is something that I do. You know, and I love it. Super passionate about it. But I think I'm equally as passionate about all the things that I do or want to do.
I will actually give you a lot of credit in that regard, man. You've done a good job of balancing the creative side of your life without letting it destroy the survival part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Literally right now, like, if it weren't for the benevolence of my family sometimes, you know, like, and some happy accidents along the way, and the fact that I've had a job since I was 16, mostly, you know, like,
Yeah.
I've always found a way to at least get by.
Yep.
But I don't know how some people find the ability to work 2 jobs and still make music, or be in a relationship even.
Right.
To have a girlfriend or a wife or children, bro. There's people with children that still make music.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, it's always been black or white for that. You know, it's like I can have a family and a career and be like everybody else, or I could do this, and it's still a roll of the dice, man.
Right.
You don't know, man, because I could end up at the end of that dot.
Yeah.
You know, and then be like, shit.
Yeah.
Should have made a baby.
The crazy thing is that like life goes by so fast, and when you're in your 20s and your 30s, you don't realize how fast it's moving.
Oh, yeah.
When you hit your 30s, I think something clicks, and you're just like, shit, things are really moving. You know what I mean? And then you're looking at like people around you, your parents and stuff like that, and you're just like, you know, everybody's getting older, and it's like, you know, I question that. I question whether I made the right decision between having a family or having albums out.
Well,
leaving a
it's
legacy.
Kids either way, right?
You leave a legacy of children and what they bring to the world, or you leave a legacy of records that 35 people might listen to.
Yeah, wow. We're uncovering some stuff now.
Yeah, you never know. You know, I'm still figuring a lot of that stuff out.
Well, that's what I had that moment though a couple years ago when I took my hiatus. I was like, do I want to do this instead?
Right.
Because I've been doing the music forever and it seems like no one cares, or it's not going to get anywhere because I literally put my best foot forward every chance I got at that point, man. Like, but then now I don't think I could ever regret doing this. I'm at the other side of that now, man. No
Mhm.
matter how it works out.
Right.
And it goes back to even seeing someone that had lots of kids,
Mm-hmm.
lots of grandkids, and that's still there's still something missing from that equation.
Right.
Because he did love to do music. My grandfather, like that's where I'm going. Is that like he worked.
Yeah.
He gave up that dream almost to work and take care of those kids, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for that. So it's hard, it's weird, man.
And you
but-
were still inspired by like the music that he did. Not only
Yeah.
the man that he was, but like the music that he did, and
Yeah,
the
'cause
fact
even-
that he was a musician,
Yeah.
a working musician,
Of course.
with a family, a large family, and still
found time to do it. Like the love for it, man.
and
is
representing,
crazy.
yeah. itself.
And it's even a type of music I don't even listen to. But going back now, because it's country music, dude.
Mhm.
I've grown up around it,
Right.
but it's almost like
It's all my father
kryptonite.
listens to.
But
It's the only thing my father, besides like a couple of blues guys, like here and there,
Mhm.
a couple.
But is it like that good? This is what I'm kind of getting at.
This is
There's
old
that
school
good
country.
older country,
Yeah.
where it is
Yeah, I'm talking about George
Yeah.
Strait, Hank Williams Sr., the whole
the
nine.
highwaymen.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Willie.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to
all those
Johnny.
guys.
This one,
Yep.
but
Chris.
those are the dudes
Yep.
that remind me of my grandfather now, though.
Mhm.
Like even there was an Eddie Arnold song, man, that came on the radio when we're coming home from the hospital of seeing him, man. Like, you ever hear? It's just get the world off my shoulders or something. Take the world off my shoulders, make the world go away, or something like that, bro. Like.
Mm.
And his voice tone was the closest out of any singer I heard. And that came home as we were driving home from probably seeing him for one of the last times, man. And that still sticks to me, So, I mean, there's a rawness of that era of country music that I think it applies to any good music.
Yeah.
There's a spirit of that in hip hop.
Of course, yeah.
They're very similar crafts in the way that it's people from areas with no hope.
Yeah.
Because rural areas are just as shit sometimes, man.
Exactly. Exactly the same. I think that's lost on a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think that a guy is doing in a town that he only has a farm and he has, an acoustic guitar,
Yeah, it's just
you know?
it's just a different landscape, man.
That's all it is, man.
And
It's an
odd,
environment.
because those two worlds are at almost each other's throats a lot,
Mhm.
man. It's just like they're anti each other when they're so similar in a lot of ways, man. And I think that I don't give that enough credit sometimes, man. So now that we've beaten every horse to death and continued kicking that horse until he was way beyond death, you touched a little bit earlier on like your motivations and stuff, but what do you think is your biggest why for making music? Why are you still making music at this geriatric age we are for music makers?
Yeah, that question has changed, over time. But right now, I think it's just to continue to build bodies of work that the people that know me or people that are going to discover me are going to listen to and hopefully take something from.
Mhm.
I started making music because I wanted to put things in perspective for myself, because I wasn't getting those answers. So I'm hoping that I can create projects that will help the person that's listening to them
Do you
put
think
things
in connecting in help, is that how the help happens though? Is that in finding something to connect to, something that is the same as what you're going through, or
yeah.
do you feel like the music itself also is doing the work of answering the questions? Do you think you do that?
It used to be both.
Yeah.
It used to be both, and then I started becoming more self-reliant as far as answering questions that need to be answered for myself.
So
But
you just let the truth start coming out rather than
the truth comes out in music for sure, and that's the beauty of making music. When I made Echoes,
Mhm.
it was the most honest album I ever made. I put all the truths out there, and I really, it was like bearing my emotions
Mhm.
for the first time ever. I had made records in the past where I had touched on things or made it in an art form where it was relatable.
Mhm.
But on Echoes, I just told the truth. You know,
Yeah.
I got to that point where I just wanted to say what was going on, and you know, it became what it was.
Do you feel like the change was in being less vague? Do you think earlier times when you're dealing with those types of things that were in like vague ways, and then it just, or do you think it was just not being or just doesn't need to be in the music anymore, essentially? Like,
Yeah, I wasn't being vague about anything in Echoes.
well, yeah, I understand that you're being
Yeah.
upfront and stuff, but do
Yeah.
you feel like there's things that you just omitted rather than put them into the songs because you were already at peace with dealing with them on your own way?
No, whenever I'm writing a record or I'm writing songs, I'm writing them as I'm going through it. So
Nice.
whatever it is. So,
So it's just a new set of problems.
yeah,
All right, I
yeah,
get it.
pretty
I get
much.
it. Yeah, that makes sense, man.
Yeah.
I get it. I think that I feel you on that level, but I don't think I ever like really shoot for such an enlightened goal.
Mm.
I respect that, like for you, it is more helpful to other people. You know, my music has always been a little more selfish. I
Well,
do
at
want
the-
people to like it, but
At the end of the day, if I make something that I like, that's what I care about,
that
You
is
know.
the most important, man.
right? Like if I make something that you don't want to listen to, or the next guy doesn't want to, or girl doesn't want to listen to, then that's okay too.
Mhm.
It's fine. I've made plenty of songs. I've had my girlfriend tell me that she didn't like this song or like that song, or that I was crazy for, writing that.
Mhm.
And that was okay. I still went to sleep, ate the same meal, went to bed, woke up, worked out, same. I was fine.
I respect your conviction, man, because that shit hits me hard. You know, like in certain situations, man, when you don't feel like the people that you care about you don't care,
Mm.
it kind of makes me a little resentful. You know?
You got to do it for you.
Yeah, of
Music
course.
is 100% that way.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about family. I'm talking about like intimate relationships
Right.
and shit. You know, like
Yep.
I see dudes out here who, their girlfriends don't even share their music, bro.
Yeah.
If you're with me and you don't like my music enough to share it, tell me,
Yeah.
like
What-
don't be,
What is that? Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, but then again, I guess like sometimes that local artist thing and the stigma that goes with it affects the thought process for people's significant others and stuff like that, or, if they don't believe in it, maybe that doesn't mean they don't believe in that person.
Mm.
But I don't know, man. As I've gotten older, I've looked at support differently.
Mm.
Everybody said, when they talk, how often do you hear someone ask you, what can I do to help?
Yeah.
Oh, I really wish I could like, I wish you could have done this. I wish, well, do this to help.
Yeah.
Go buy a song for $1.
Uh-huh.
Buy my album for $5,
Yep.
$7, $8,
It's
whatever.
it's nothing,
It's
and it's
nothing.
such a huge gesture for the person that is taking the time,
Yeah.
hours and months to create this music.
for
If
sure.
if you say you like it, you should support it.
Yeah, dude.
Like, that's a fact, man.
And that's where I almost want to make my final point is that it is courageous to be any kind, like, to put yourself on the line, to put this vulnerability down.
Mm.
It's courageous, man.
Mm-hmm.
But the bravest people, I think, end up being the first 100 people to support that artist.
Right.
To go against social convention, to go against like local culture or whoever, or go against the status quo.
Mhm.
Like, it takes enough people to support you to create that base to grow from.
Right.
So whereas we are sitting here putting raw shit down on paper and then singing into a mic or whatever, and I used to get angry, and that's what, when you do call it hate, they're hating on me or whatever, but it's really that people are living their life, man.
Yeah.
And who am I to ask them to be brave for me?
Yeah.
They could be brave saving a kid from a fire. They
True.
could be brave
Absolutely.
being a paramedic. There's so many other ways for people to be brave that aren't self-serving.
I agree.
So it's such a weird balance that you have to find with being okay that people are living their lives and I'm making my choice to live mine. You're making your choice,
Yeah.
and this is what we chose with it. So,
Bottom line, music is an art, and that needs to be celebrated. It also needs to be supported because music is dying. The relevance of meaning in music is dying in America, and that's something that should never happen. Because if you travel abroad, you are seeing people that love music like like we used to, you know.
Man.
And if you love it, if you like it, then come support it. You know what I mean? You go find hashtag Timothy Biggins online. You go find hashtag Ken Fox Music online, and you find echoes. You find with dreams like these, and you support that stuff because you know that's the gesture of appreciation. Thanks again for listening to the What Is Your Why podcast. I'm Ken Fox, along with my co-host Timothy Biggins. For the next few episodes, we hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to bringing you more conversations with interesting stories with amazing people.